All right, we have created an automated Cloudflow, an instant Cloudflow. Now let's create a scheduled Cloudflow. And let's create something useful. Let's create a flow that is going to send us a weather report every minute. Well, let's make it every day, but for example, for just training and practicing, let's try it for every minute. So what scheduled flows is going to allow us to do is create flows that run on specific occurrences in time. So every minute, every hour, every 5 minutes, whatever interval of time we want, and also with whatever repetition that we want. So let's call this weather report via email. So we're going to make it every 1 minute. Once we create the flow, we see something different. There is recurrence right here. If I click right here, we can change our recurrence to whatever we want, and we can also change the starting date if we wanted to. So with this in mind, it is different from the other processes that had an input here or an automatic trigger. Now the trigger is, in this case, the trigger is the recurrence. So let's create a new step. And what do we need? We need a connector that is going to allow us to get weather information. So let's search for weather and let's use the Microsoft weather action. So let's get the forecast for tomorrow. Let's get the forecast for tomorrow with that action. It had 3 actions available for us. So let's insert a location and let's select the units. We want metric units. So let's save this. And now we have a process that is retrieving the weather. Let's save this and let's test it and see if this is working. So let's test this and let's run our process. I will disappear from view so that we can see everything that I am doing. All right, the process has run successfully. In the results of this connector, we can see that Montreal, we're using metric units. It's currently partially sunny. Well, it's going to be tomorrow partially sunny. And the temperature is going to be of 20 and 12, the low temperature. So, all right, now what we need to do is we need to create an email out of this. So let's send ourselves an email every day or every minute, in this case, that is going to allow us to be informed on the weather. So in the previous example, we used a Gmail connector. So we send emails from Gmail. In this example, let's use a different connector. So let's use, for example, let's say we have an Outlook email or we have a Microsoft account. So let's use an Outlook and let's search for, we can use an Office, we can use an Outlook. In this example, let's use Outlook connector and let's create an email. So we can see that we have a lot more actions that are available in this one than in the Gmail connector. So let's create a send email. Let's send it. I will send it to myself and I will call this a weather report. After that, in the body of the message, I will see that I have dynamic options available for me to insert. Dynamic such as the conditions, the location, temperature, everything that is pulled out automatically out of this connector that we inserted right here. So let's format this email a little bit and let's write location. Now that we have added the location, let's add also the conditions. Let's also add the weather conditions. Let's see what that is, what results we are going to get. All right, so let's save this process and let's recap what our process does. So theoretically, our process every minute is going to send us an email that is going to be a weather report of this location. Now we can make this dynamic and complicated however we want and much better, but for this simple purposes, let's just test this and see if it works. So let's test this process. Let's run our flow. Our flow has run successfully. So we have retrieved the information from the weather and we are also sending an email. So we are sending the email. This is Montreal. This is what is in the body, and in the conditions we have partially sunny. The other data variable didn't output anything, probably because it was empty. So let's check our inbox and see if we have received an email. So here is our email, partially sunny, Montreal, Quebec, and partially sunny conditions. So right now, let's also remember that we should always disable our flow. Now we have disabled our flow, so this flow is not going to send any more flows. And now we have created a weather report as well. Now with this, we have learned how to create all kinds of different flows in a couple of minutes. So right now, you should try this yourself, and you should make sure that you are following along and that you have created all of the processes that I have created. Soon you're going to be creating an exercise that is going to combine all of the things that we have seen and learned so far to create a process for yourself.